All right, hello everybody, Peter here. We have another exclusive video for you wonderful Peter's Doodle Club members. I just want to thank you all for doing that, for being members. It makes a huge difference. This is, as you can see, as you might notice, like almost up to like $700 a month that I make on Patreon now. So that's a huge difference, just a big thing, so thank you. If you ever have like any input, tips, things that would make like things that you'd like to see be features on Patreon, I'm always open to input, comments, questions, concerns, things that would really help give this more value to you, bang for your buck, etc. Anyways, on to this video. Basically what I'm doing here is I've got my nice fountain pen here that I bought at that pen convention, a Waterman fountain pen. That's really all I know about it. I don't really know like what model it is or anything like that, or even if fountain pens had models back then. I don't know. These days when they pump out fountain pens, quote unquote modern fountain pens, they have, like the Lamy Safari, Lamy All-Star, Twisby Eco, what is this one? It's the Coeco Sport, etc. But I don't know. This one just says Waterman's on it. So I'm not sure. I'm sure they made different ones back then. I just don't know what they called them. Anyways, so I'm using that, and in it I have some kind of very reddish, rusty red, brownish, very earth tone ink in it that someone sent to me. I have these things on my website where you can buy commissions for like $100. You can kind of request what you want. Basically, so far these have worked best for me when people kind of said that I could do whatever I wanted, right? Or gave me like a vague direction. There was one case where someone gave me a very, very specific request, and I had to refund them just because I don't know, I wasn't enjoying it at all, working on it. So I just refunded them. Thankfully, I have that luxury at this moment. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe that wasn't wise, but I did. That's the nature of some commissions. I don't enjoy it when I put myself in a place where I'm using art and I don't enjoy the art, and I don't want to be wielding art in an unenjoyable manner. I don't want to suddenly, because it is weird when art is my livelihood like it is right now, and I want to be very sensitive, and you know what they say about not making your hobby your job. You can quickly start not enjoying it. So I don't feel bad about turning down commissions like that. Just give them a refund if I think I won't enjoy it. But so far most of the commissions have been fun. They say you can do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, or they give me some vague, like, oh, I want something a little more organic or a little more mechanical, something like this or that, Or one person said, I don't want any teeth, I like instructions like that. People are free to request whatever they want, but I am glad that I also feel free to just give them a refund if I don't like what they. Anyways, so one person requested that I draw whatever they want. I mean, whatever I want, but with some specific ink, which they sent all the way from Germany. So I have that ink now. I hope I'm not supposed to like send this back or anything. If you're here, let me know. I can send it back to you, but I still got it in this pen. I like the ink. It's nice ink. I would tell you what it's called, but it's all German words, and I'd probably say it wrong anyways. You can make a comment in the post if you really want to know, and I'll take a picture of it or write it out for you. But it's pretty cool stuff. And so I'm using that in the pen, and also I've got a brush pen, or I think those are called water brushes. Usually I use I initially bought some other water brushes back in the day, and these specific brush pens, which I'm now looking and seeing that I pretty much used up a whole. You fill them up with water, you unscrew them, you fill them with water, and I really used up a whole water brush pen worth of water. I used up a lot of water on these. I did 3 drawings today, and basically you can squeeze them, but also water just kind of comes out of them naturally. You can also put ink in here. I've put ink in them before. I've put UV ink in them before. You can put all sorts of stuff in them. So I kind of did a combination of the fountain pen with the ink is, it says it's waterproof, but it's not that waterproof until if it hasn't dried yet, it's not waterproof. Let's see. I have some other inks, and people say, it's definitely not waterproof, so you can even have maybe a little bit more fun with, playing with the water pens even after it has dried, maybe. I don't know. It still worked really well. If you use this water pen on it and with it and around it, or use the ink pen on the water, pretty much any time before the ink has dried, it's a lot of fun and crazy things happen. Basically what I'm trying to learn here and experiment with is ink wash, some sort of ink washes here. There's a lot of different ways to do ink washes. You can set out little jars and measure out different little drops, like 4 drops of ink in this jar, 3 in that one, 2 in this one, 1 in that one, and have different little amounts of darknesses of ink and gradients and stuff like that. Or I can do it this way. It's a little bit more on the fly, off the cuff. But basically what I like about ink washes is you do get there's a different side of kind of an atmosphere you get with ink washes. And I like that. And I think there's something I could get into there, and I could mess around with it more if I just got more comfortable with it. And to get more comfortable with it, well, I've just got to do it more, right? So that's what I'm doing here today, just experimenting. Some of the things that happened here I liked more than other things that happened here, as far as the ink and the paper and the water and it's every time I touched like the ink to a puddle, and it just went like, just like kind of the ink, you could see it like exploding out. You've done it before, having like some water or some fluid and dropping like a little droplet of food coloring in there or something. It just goes poof, just like, is there a word for that? Like, I'm sure there's some scientific word that I learned in like chemistry class or something, and like expands across the water. Anyways, it happens with the ink too. It's very satisfying to look at, but sometimes the result is more or less satisfying. But even when the result was less satisfying to me, I still felt like I learned things for when I mess around with it later. And it's still is interesting to look at least. And that's one of the things I always kind of strive for with art, is making things that are interesting to look at. I don't know. Art doesn't always have to be beautiful, it doesn't have to be beautiful, because a lot of great artists make things that are very ugly and horrifying, and they make you reel back, and they're almost painful to look at, right? So art doesn't need to be beautiful. I don't know, it just needs to, I guess, be something different, or needs to invoke some sort of reaction or feeling, emotion. I don't know if my art always evokes some sort of emotion, though. That is something maybe I could improve on. I'd love to improve on, evoking some sort of emotion. I just have these dense clumps of lines most of the time, and I'm not sure there's much emotion in it is the problem. I love to learn and figure out how to get more emotion in there. I'm sure there are people who say, oh, I definitely get emotion from that, but most personally, I really just get something that's interesting to look at. I would love to learn and move towards getting emotion and something interesting to look at. So, man, I'm just excited because I know that I have just like so far to grow as an artist still. I don't know. I think it would be awful to feel like you have reached your peak in whatever your favorite hobby is. If you feel like you've gotten to the end of it, you've gotten as good as you could ever get, like, that's kind of when you move on to another hobby, don't you? Like if it's a video game and you beat a video game, that's when you go to the next video game. And I don't think I'm anywhere near going on to the next hobby or passion. I mean, I don't think you can ever, quote unquote, beat art, right? I could spend lifetimes on this, and I wish I had more lifetimes. I don't know. It's crazy. It overwhelms me sometimes. I just need to spend more time drawing Sometimes I just don't feel up to it though. I've learned not to push it, not to, if I don't feel like it, I don't force it. Otherwise, I like it less like the next time I want to do it. I don't know, you got to learn to kind of work with yourself and learn to motivate yourself. What kind of things get you inspired and excited? Even, little things like coffee or a fresh art supply, or what little videos on YouTube or a movie, or what music, or what sleep schedules, or if taking a walk, or things like that. Some jumping jacks. Every person works a little bit differently as far as getting motivated and excited and inspired to create. So it's just part of learning and growing and growing closer to yourself a little bit, I guess. I'm not sure what else to say. Anyways, I think I'm gonna have this. I don't really have a whole lot more to say. I was hoping I could do this video like at real-time speed, but I think I'm gonna have it at 2x speed, which isn't terrible. I don't know. It took it's like 20 minutes of footage, but I'm talking for like 12 minutes. So I hope that's all right. Anyways, have a good day, everyone. Thanks again for watching. All right, goodbye. Goodbye. I love y'all. All right, have a good one.